Okay, so you're thinking about coming up to Henninger Flats. It's pretty small. I've seen other YouTube videos where this place looks like a sprawling campground, but it's actually, from my count, maybe this is one. That would be like, there's a little bench right there, 2 in the back. This would be 3, 4 back there, 5 right here, right? Fireplace a little bit away. 6 would be back there. And then you got number 7, like way back in the corner. So there's like 7, to me, 7 actual campsites here at Henninger that have like a table and a fireplace or stove, whatever you want to call that. Not a fireplace, but a stove. Right now it's April 2023. The place is pretty overgrown with grass. I'm sure all this will come down as the summer hits. We're just now, we're just now getting out of spring. So there'll be a lot of dirt up here. There is fallen wood, believe it or not. There's a nice big log right there. There's another chunk right there that you could use in there if you know how to process your firewood. Like, you'd have to break it down to little popsicle sized sticks and then start it, ignite it, etc. For right now, you are allowed to use the stoves as long as your fire stays in the stoves. This particular one, I think somebody got a little too eager and they put some kind of plastic on top. Probably didn't realize how hot this thing got. So that'll smell really nice next time somebody decides to fire this thing up. The door's pretty heavy. There is a lot of ash that's still in there. I'll probably clean that out before I go, scatter it, that kind of stuff. And then in terms of the table, here's the table that was behind me that I was sitting at. Trekking poles, these Foxellies, testing these out. It's like a cheaper version of the Macaloos, I guess. You know, if you want your budget bargain, but still want a little bit of quality, those Foxellies might be worth it. I'll put a link down below in the description. That's my Maxpedition. I think technically it's like a 1-day pack, not even a 3-day. It's pretty small. You know, here's my hand in comparison. I've done a video on this before. It's in the video playlist, so make sure to check that out. By the way, now would be a good time to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, wherever that is. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of future videos. That red fire hydrant, if that's what you want to call it, that's an emergency water hose connect for the firefighters. No, you cannot get water from there. That's basically just for emergencies. Oh, while we're here, let's take you down a little pathway that some people will camp at from time to time. So if you look, right now I'm on like a little ledge. Definitely don't want to fall, but there's like a very steep incline to get down to this section. This is like more campsites, not campsites, but places where you could put a tent if you wanted to. This distance seems like it's too big for a hammock. By the way, in case you're curious, it's about 20 feet. Plus, this tree is higher up on the hill. That one's lower on the hill. So I don't know. You could make it work, I guess, if you're a creative hammock setter-upper, whatever you want to call it. City's just right behind. That's just crazy that we're up here at Henninger and there's the city. It's just nuts. I'll go back over where I can get a better shot, better view, so you can actually see Pasadena and then downtown and all that. But I just wanted to point out this little ledge right here that probably not a lot of people know about. But when this grass clears, you could set up, maybe at least 10 tents. But that road to get down there is pretty steep. It's about 15 to 20 feet to come up. Pretty steep little hill. I don't want to go down there now because then I got to come back up that. But I guess if you were creative and you wanted to set up some tents down here, yeah, you could probably easily get about 10 different tents in this area, like 10 two-person tents in that area. And then this looks like this goes down like a little ridge. You'll have to explore that on your own. Caution, word to the wise, all that good stuff. There's more of the view. So now here's looking from where we're at, from this corner, from this emergency fire hydrant back to the campground. See, the campground looks like it goes back forever, and it really doesn't. Because once you get in, the main road is right there. Like the road to come in is that way. Once you hit that road, the other side of the road is just wilderness. The bathrooms, there's two. I'll do a separate video because it's going to take too long to walk over there in one video. But I'll do a separate video. But the bathrooms, it's literally just a wood outhouse with 2 toilets. There's no running water, none of that stuff. It's just literally 2 toilets, and you don't know what could be crawling around those toilets. So plan accordingly. You know, just prepare to find a spot, dig a cat hole, do what you got to do. I think the management company up here would like you to use those toilets, but to each their own. There's somebody walking way back there. But yeah, on video, YouTube, even the videos don't do this thing justice. It looks a lot bigger than it is on YouTube, but when you actually get here, it's pretty small. It's pretty tiny. It's a tiny little campground that's meant to be a trail camp on your way to, let's say you wanted to go to Mount Wilson, or you wanted to go back and cut back to Angeles Crest Highway. I mean, those are long treks. 15, 20 Mount Low, you know, that kind of vibe. Like, those are long treks if you decide to go that way. But up there, by the way, I think that's a person in orange up there. There's another little like table up there. Like, you could camp there if you want to. Just know that if you did camp up there on the way in, you're right there on the way in. So you're going to get a lot of Friday, Saturday tourists, people that come up here or whatever. But this to me is the first, I think, decent campsite that is shaded, looks nice, all that good stuff. So then there's a whole bunch of benches. There's 4 benches here. Beware a lot of ants. There's a lot of fire ants, especially around these benches, on them, in them, near them, under them. See if I can find some. Yeah, see them crawling around. Bunch of little fire ants. So be careful when you come up here. Look before you sit. Then you got a little bench over here. This one's memory of, you get the idea. And then here's our view. So here's our view. So there's a reservoir down there. Pasadena is right there, this patch of tannish white kind of buildings. And then beyond that, past that in the distance, is downtown LA. If y'all can see that, I'll try to zoom in here real quick. See, you got, whoops, Pasadena's right there. And then downtown is back there. And then beyond that, in the way distance, is Palos Verdes. So Palos Verdes, you can see there's like a little hump. Palos Verdes is back there. And then all this is San Gabriel Valley. So that's kind of cool. I think, if I don't make a mistake, I think this right here is probably the 210 freeway. What it looks like, I think. Hopefully, maybe I'm right. It's like the 210. And then you can kind of gauge the rest from there. That was part of the road that was coming up here. It's a lot longer than you think it is, by the way. You're like, am I there yet? Am I there yet? And then you get to a certain point, and you're like, oh man, there's another huge, like 13-degree slope. Even more extreme than that, it seemed like in some places, and your elevation gain is just insane. You're coming up like 100 feet in elevation over the span of maybe like 500 feet, 600 feet. So it's almost like climbing a staircase. But that's what it's like up here at Henninger Flats, in case you're curious. So there's the benches. There's that first campsite. Here's another bench. And then, so this I would consider would be one campsite, right? This over here would be like a table with a fire stove or whatever. That would be another table with a stove. So that's 3. Let's say a solid 3. Then you get this like weird, you get these weird places where like, or these weird things where like, okay, you got a table and then you got like a bench so you can spread your stuff or whatever. By the way, hammock camping up here, this tree to this tree is about 17 or 18 feet, in case you're curious. The distance between that tree and that tree is a little bit longer. It's like 19 to 20 feet. So Something else to consider is all the wind comes up here at nighttime and just blasts this first area. So the winds can get pretty strong, pretty scary. So something to think about if you are going to be in a hammock or a tent or whatever. I think that's why a lot of people do not camp at this particular site, because they don't want to deal with it. Also, look at that Widowmaker action up there. I mean, this tree to me looks like it's dead. So that's something to consider, right? As you come up here. See, a lot of people are like, ooh, pretty table, there's my tent, but they don't look up, right? Look up before you sit down. Look at that, all those little Widowmakers that are gonna be right where you're planning on setting up your tent or your hammock or whatever. This patch of dirt right here, I would say is about, just conservatively guessing, maybe 12 feet this way by maybe 16 feet this way. It's like a triangle shape more than like an actual rectangle. And something else to keep in mind is you got to remember, people love these benches. So you got to give other people that come up here a chance to walk down this road, go through your campsite, and get to those benches. Otherwise, people are just going to go willy-nilly through your stuff. So keep that in mind. Then there's another road right here. Right here's a site. Okay, this is an interesting one. So you have like a 2-board table, right? A bench table. So it's 2 boards wide, whereas that one's only 1 board wide, and then you got the table behind it. But this one is 2 boards wide. It's about, I'd say like a little over 3 feet off the ground, right? And obviously this side is, there's more distance here because the slope is going up like this. So the other side is maybe like 2.5, 2 3/4 feet off the ground. On this side, you're about 3.5 to almost 4 feet off the ground. So keep that in mind. There's another stove. There's some firewood that I think somebody probably tried to light and they probably couldn't light it because they didn't know how to process wood properly. This is a little present that somebody left behind. I'm not even going to guess what's in there. I don't even want to touch it, but throw your trash away. I mean, there are trash cans over by, I think it's the office, that you can throw, pack it in, pack it out, all that good stuff. If you pooped it in, you should poop it out too. Just saying. I don't know what this green thing is. I'm going to have to go over them and explore a little bit. But once you pass this area, right, then you come up here and there's a whole nother table with another stove up here. So let's say 1, 2, right? Technically that's part of 2, I guess. That would be number 3. I mean, I'm just throwing out random numbers, by the way. This would be 4, right? This you've seen in a lot of other YouTube videos as well. And this is the one that's kind of tucked off on the side. During the early part of the day, so the sun goes this way across the sky. During the early part of the day, it looks like you'll get some shade in the early morning hours because the sun's coming up from that side. Then probably 10 a.m. to about 1 p.m. you probably get direct sunlight like you are right there. It is overgrown. Obviously, you see the grass and all that. And then I'm imagining that these 2 tall trees right here would give you some shade the rest of the afternoon. So then this little path looks like a little shortcut back to the main path. If you don't want to come down all the way this way and then come back down this path, you could just go straight out that path or up or over or whatever through the woods, literally. So then it looks like, so you have that table, you have that stove, more fallen wood or wood that somebody dragged over here. There's a little more wood that somebody dragged over here. It looks like over here there's some signage maybe. Get some birds growing. This looks like another table at a weird angle. I guess whatever was around here, there may have been another table here at one time. This one's pretty tall. This one looks like it's about maybe 5 feet tall, 4.5 feet, 5 feet tall over here. Looks like it's sunken on this side, maybe 3 feet tall over there. Looks like there was something here, like at one point. Okay, then you've got another table, an actual table there. Where is the stove's behind it? See the stove behind it with another one of those long 1 board wide benches. Massive log over there if you're doing like a group camp out. Then you got another bench right there. So there is another stove back there as well. So yeah, I mean, you've got options. Like when you're up here and the grass is low, plenty of room for tents. This span between these 2 trees, if you happen to find yourself camping back there, that looks like a good 17 feet or so. Just saying. And then this one looks like it's too small for a hammock, but this span right here is about maybe 10 feet, a little less than 10 feet maybe. Like right in here, 9 feet, 8 feet something. So that's something to keep in mind. So yes, there is places for your hammock. More geared towards tent camping though, I think. And then, like I said, if you're closer to this section, let's call it the end of the area of the Henninger Flat camping area, just keep in mind the wind howls at night and it comes up over that ridge and just blasts whatever's there. So I think that's why a lot of people choose the sites that are back here. And then right now it's about 12 noon. So you kind of get an idea of what the shade's like at 12 noon. You know, the sun's right there. So the sun, like in relation to north, south, east, west, the sun's right there. Whoops, sun's like right about there-ish. Right? There you go. Sun coming down. So as the sun travels across, all these trees provide all the shade over here. So that's basically it. That's Henninger Flat. That's the top. That's my review. There is a little railing thing over here to keep you from going off the edge. Use caution, obviously. But this area is extremely overgrown with grass. The grass is like to my knee, so 1.5 feet, 2 feet or so. So keep that in mind if you are going to come up here this time of the year. I mean, that right there would be a great place to hang a hammock. That's about the same. It's like 17, 18 feet, maybe 19 feet. And then the only thing is you wouldn't really have like a table next to you. The closest table is over here, which is about 25, 30 feet. So just keep that in mind. And then your stove, I guess you could share the stove with these people if they were nice and you were nice and everybody coexisted in a world together of niceness. So then looking at the overall layout, that building is where the museum is. And then straight ahead of us where that red fire truck is, like straight ahead, you have to walk up a little hill, but the bathrooms are there. And then, let's see. Sorry. So there's the fire truck. This person's walking. There's the bathroom right there. This brick building, I think, used to be a bathroom. Like that brick building right there. That's next to the actual wooden bathrooms. The brick building, I think, used to be a bathroom, but I think now, because of vandalism and some knuckleheads destroying it, ruined it for everybody else, you cannot use those concrete bathrooms. They're locked. It's not even like a key type of a lock. It's like some weird special like internal cylinder kind of, I don't even know how the heck they open them, but they're locked. Men's and the women's both are locked, so you can't even get in there. Here's another trekker going through. I think she might just be up here for the day, but pretty quiet. I'm up here at 12 noon during, what is this? This is Friday. So pretty quiet right now. I would imagine there's going to be a rush of people that are going to come in here after work, try to get some good campsites, that kind of stuff, try to set up their spots. I mean, for what it's worth, if I was tent camping, this is just me personally, if I was tent camping, I wouldn't mind this site at all, because you're about 25, 30 feet from the path that comes down to the benches. But at the same time, like, you've got your table, you've got your stove, you've got another big, huge table over here you could lay your stuff on if you wanted to. Only thing I don't like is that there's kind of limited options for a hammock here. So I tend to be more of a hammock person than that. But I guess if you wanted to go between this tree and this tree, that's a good like 20, 22 feet. That tree, by the way, deceiving as it is in the video, that's about 30 feet away. So this tree to this tree, that's about 30 feet away. So it's a little more farther apart. But Those two trees, like that tree and that tree, those are about 10 or 11 feet apart. So it might be too short for a hammock. And then let's take a look at this bench real quick. Benches look in decent shape. I mean, this one's actually concrete on top. So that's actually concrete on top with wood. I think this is meant more for maybe like a disabled person. Like see how the bench extends out a little more than the table does. So maybe that might be for a handicapped person. This side somebody broke off. You're probably trying to sit on it, lean on it, trying to do something stupid. You get all kinds of knuckleheads up here. That's all I can say. Okay, another distance thing. So this tree to that tree, that looks like a good 20 feet or so. So that might be a good hammock setter-upper kind of spot. There's another view of that campsite. Here's another view looking back again. Right, so you got your 4 benches. 3 of them have backrests. 1 of them is in dedication memorial to that person. Then you've got the table there. You've got a stove there. You've got a 1-beam or a 2-beam tall bench, like tall place to put your stuff. Then over here, you've got that other campsite with the stove and the table and the thing that gets all the wind at nighttime. And then it's funny because this barbecue has these little side, like, hey, don't get too close. It's got these little cider things. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Somebody was nice enough to leave a spatula and a grill here for some diabolical purposes. So I'm going to leave that where I found it. Somebody left it. It's good. It's good. You know, people leaving good stuff up here for other people to use. And they actually cleaned it out too. Look at that. Pretty clean in there, if you ask me. Not like the other one had a whole bunch of sediment. So there you go. There are decent people in the world that took care of this stuff. I hear on the weekends this place is packed. Saturday, like last Saturday in particular, there was another girl up here, another hiker, that said that literally there were like 50 people up here. They had a huge party. They all hiked up here. They had a huge party, and then they all went back down. Looks like they left the area pretty clean. Thank goodness for that. So that's good news. I mean, it looks pretty clean around here. Try to take care of these places. You know, they're not going to be around forever if people come up here, irresponsible people come up here and they destroy them. So try to take care of them. While we're here, I've always been curious what the heck this thing is. Now's a chance to find out. It looks like, let's see. Just looks like a big wooden box. I don't know what this was. Oh, maybe this was the bear locker. That's what I think that was. This might have been, what does that say? Matt Hirsch Eagle Scout Project 2000 turntable. Oh, whoops. Matt Garcia Eagle Scout Project Troop 50, February 9th, 2013. I think that's what this was. This was probably designed to be a bear locker of some kind, or just a storage of some kind. It looks like either a bear got in there or a bunch of nosy people. Who knows? A little bit of trash. I'll pick this up, take this back up out on the way out. That's a shame. One little piece of trash had to ruin it. But for the most part, there's your road in. So when you see, there's that other site. There's a table and there's a bench up there. If you can see that. There's a table and there's a stove up there. And the way you come in is from there, right? So from bottom of the hill, you come up and over, whatever, come down that way, and then you get to there. And then from here, you come on down this path, and then this path takes you to the end where all the benches are and the other stuff. So it is very deceptive. From where I'm standing right now to the end over there, I would say, respectively speaking, about 75 to 80 feet from here to the bench. And it sounds like a lot, like you're thinking like 80 feet, but when you actually get up here, you'll see how tiny it is. Pretty small place. There's the building again, in case you're curious as well. So remember, the bathrooms are up there, right? The bathrooms are that brown little shack looking thing. That concrete building was where I think the old bathrooms used to be that now are shut down. Then you'll see the fire truck is over there somewhere. That's the building where the museum is, and I think where some of the firefighters that live up here, maybe. And then the old watchtower is like behind those trees, and then there's another Henninger Flats sign that's somewhere like in that area as well. So just to give you perspective, lay of the land of where we are and all that good stuff. Let's see what this sign says. This sign says no camping. I don't know. I don't know who put this up. It's the City of Los Angeles, California Fire Department. It says no camping, but take it with a grain of salt. Is there really no camping? I see people camp up here all the time, so who knows? Maybe there's just no camping. Maybe that means no camping equipment. Maybe that, who knows? Who knows? But as far as I know, I think you are allowed to spend up to 14 days up here at Henninger. There's the other table, by the way. So check your rules and regulations and restrictions and all that good stuff. So I guess that must be another locker for your food storage or whatever. If you're looking for low-hanging branches to hang your food from, if you're out here, by the way, I think you would hang your food maybe off of that one. That looks about right. I don't know. Anyways, hope this video helps someone out there. If you like what you're seeing, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button down below. Check out some links in the description section if you want some links to some pretty cool stuff. I'll try to put as much camping and backpacking stuff as I can first, and then usually after that, it's kind of like just a mishmash of whatever products I use and have been using for a while. So then there's another campsite right there. It looks like a table, another table and a bench. That's the guy wearing the orange or the girl wearing the orange. So you got a table and a person. Then you got another table over there. So, and then you got this whole huge hillside between the two. So from this path right here up to there, I'd say it's about the same distance from me to there. So, about the same. So that's got to be another like 75, 80 feet or so, just for reference. Okay, everybody, there you go. There's my wrap up of Henninger Flats. I will try to come up here soon, do some more smaller videos like bushcrafting, how to properly process that wood. I'm going to try to break out the auger and show everybody the rocket stove setup. Might get a chance to split some wood in 4 and do a Swedish torch thing. We'll see how that goes. And okay, a lot of people were asking about this thing too before I forget. Is this water or is this not water? And the question is no. There's no water here because there is no spigot. So that tells me that either the pipe itself broke and they had to shut off the water, or they just shut off the water because I think maybe somebody was abusing it. Who knows? Who knows? But there is no water right there, in case you're curious. I don't know what this thing was for. Maybe somebody can comment below. So you got 2 poles. You got 2 poles coming out with a concrete floor. Maybe that was like a basin or like a wash tub at some point. Who knows? Who knows? And if you do know, comment down below. That'd be awesome. But there you go, everybody. That's basically Henninger Flats for you. Check out this awesome and amazing view again. These 2 trees, at least 25-30 feet between the 2. That is a massive span. I guess you could hammock it if you wanted to. Remember, first bench, pretty nice. Second bench is when you might spot like maybe 1 ant or 2. That gray bench, you start getting more fire ants. That last bench was just covered in fire ants on the floor. All good stuff. A little stump right there you can put your stuff on. But yeah, pretty cool area. And then don't forget, down that little hill there was like enough room for about 10 tents, 10 2-person tents or so down in there. Here's where I'm just set up for this afternoon right now. I'm actually going to just relax for a little bit. I would so take a nap. I should have brought my hammock to set it up, but I'm going to take a little nap if I can somewhere on one of these benches, maybe that bench, relax for a little bit and then head back down the hill. And this grassy area, I would imagine when the grass comes down a little bit, it should be very tent friendly, very shady. You know, this is now we're like at what, like 12:30 or so. Half-hour video and going. Anyways, Cooter Malloy, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you like what you're seeing. Henninger Flats, peace out. To be continued on another day.